Hello, cosmic beings. Welcome to Being Cosmic. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. I am so glad that each and every one of you are here. I will be doing a collective message today. So, with that, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. All right. Take a step aside to let spirit pass through. Let's get into it. All right. What does the collective need to hear today, spirit? Please tap into the energy and let it flow through. Really quick, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the likes, shares, comments, subscribes, and the donations. All of it really does help out the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you. One, two, two. All right. Okay, so we've got Solitary Witch and the Initiation, which is a sacred test. Everything's covered, so I'll show them to you. Okay, with this, what I'm picking up is that this is reminding me of the Hermit card in the tarot. This is a deep period of introspection and self-discovery. This is also when these periods of time come up and we take the opportunity to move with that energy and to turn inwards and to do that self-reflection, that does come with a kind of an initiation. And this happens throughout the journey. And so this can be discovering a trigger and where it originates from and working with it and healing that particular scenario so that we're no longer triggered anymore. It's kind of like the equivalent of turning an energetic open wound into an energetic scar, so to speak. So that when somebody pokes it, it doesn't hurt anymore. So then we're not triggered. So we don't react in the same way. Um, and then with that, when you do these little things like this and you notice yourself showing up differently, give yourself some credit for that. Give yourself, not only grace to go through this inner work that can be very difficult, also allow yourself to take a moment and go, oh, wow, I used to react in this way. And now I responded very differently. It didn't invoke, you know, painful feelings like it would have. Or, I showed up differently because I put a boundary in place. And so energetically, it didn't have the same effect. And so that could be part of what's going on. Another part of this is going within and discovering things like psychic abilities, maybe past life stuff, really kind of deep diving into your soul origin, those kinds of things. So this is powerful energy. This is definitely where the ascension journey really, really happens is by going within. Okay, we're going to the tarot now. All right, what else does the collective need to know? It also says, heal yourself first. And that's just that concept is like, as within, so without. It sounds weird, but as within, so without, as above, so below. It's really that energy of when we do that inner work and show up differently, we'll notice our external reality starts to reflect those changes as well. Else is that part of it? And Two of Wands. Okay, so we've got the Page of Pentacles. This is about getting prepared. It's a slower moving energy. Holy moly, more. Okay. It's it's funny. I was like, that's a slower moving energy, and then all of a sudden the cards just were like coming out like crazy. So this is okay. All right. This is gonna take a second. Um, This is a lot of cards. Normally I don't take this many cards, especially right away. Um, okay, and I'm looking at how I just flipped them over as well. There feels like there's an importance to that. Okay, there's a lot going on here. So first and foremost, I do want to say that I feel like okay, there is a relationship component coming through. For some of you it could be romantic, for others of you it could be platonic, and for a lot of you it could be in all aspects of life. Relationships in, it doesn't even have to be relationships with people. It can be relationships with money, relationships with a job, relationships with a living situation. Kind of a weird way to put it, but it's an energetic kind of yeah, it's a relationship, more or less. And I normally don't put it that way, but that's the way it's coming through. So, it's really your experience with your external world that's really, really coming through right now. And by doing this major deep inner work, there's definitely an ending, the major endings with certain cycles and certain behaviors and certain things of that nature. And then in this card, what I'm really, really seeing is how this door is closed, but then this door is cracked open. And so this can also be symbolic for hanging out in the liminal space or the void space where this is closed, this cycle's over, but this door isn't fully open yet. And so it's just kind of like accepting the fact that it's a transition period. And with that being next to the Page of Pentacles, there could be this switch that's happening where it's like you've done a lot of inner work, you've done a lot of planning and preparing and laying certain things in your foundation and things of that nature. And now it's kind of it's the time to move in some way. So for some of you that could be literal. It could be a literal house move, something of that nature. For a lot of you, I'm picking up that it's going to be in other areas of life. With this, oh, okay. So we've got the Fool here, which is the beginning. It's the beginning of a cycle. Um, and then with the Two of Wands, there's a choice to be made. And something that could be influencing this choice is a past heartbreak of some sort. This doesn't have to be like a romantic heartbreak. This can be, when we move to a location and we put so many expectations and we have all these attachments and we're like, this is going to be great and wonderful. And then, we live there for a while and then all of a sudden it doesn't feel the same anymore. That can cause this type of an energy where it's like, it's time to move on, so to speak. Um, what's hiding under taking this leap is the sun. And so this is a very joyful energy. This is very much the energy of just bliss and joy and really embracing and embodying that present moment energy and being thankful for that. Okay, I wasn't sure if I should bring this up, but a prime example of this is where I live. There's certain times of the year, every now and again, and it's not even every year. It's pretty rare to see the aurora borealis. And the other times when it'll show up like, hey, you might be able to see it in your state. Oftentimes you have to like drive where there's no light pollution to be able to see it. And last night we were able to see it from our backyard. And it was, I my daughter went to bed late because, we went outside and then we went up to this little spot in our neighborhood where you can see really good. It's kind of like a little mini hike. And, it was like her bedtime. And it was one of these things of we've got, almost a once in a lifetime opportunity to experience this. What's a half an hour of lost sleep to be able to really experience this. And so we went up and looked at this and really, were able to see the reds and then take pictures and see some of the other colors come through. And it was one of those moments. It was so just awe-inspiring to be able to see it on a random night and to experience that and to share that with my daughter and to just enjoy that. It was so much of just like being in the moment and being awestruck by nature and just the beauty of nature. And so that's definitely, I feel like that is something that you are, if you're not already now experiencing that on a more regular basis, you're going to be able to really notice a difference here soon because you've done some of this inner work. You're making the brave choices to take this leap. And then what's waiting for you is the ability to really be in the moment. And it doesn't have to be something as, awe-inspiring as like the aurora borealis. It can be watching a bird fly and just being in awe about, you know, the dynamics of the bird taking flight and this and that. And it's really just about being in the present moment. Where ah, where the relationship thread is coming in is right here for me. This is the Knight of Cups. This is about moving towards what it is that brings your heart joy. And so that oftentimes can be indicative of another person that you are interested in romantically. But that is not the only thread that I'm picking up here. So this could be moving towards what it is that lights you up in a career. Changing certain things in your life so that you meditate for 5 minutes and come to that, start to really get into that place of just peace and silence within. And that allows guidance to come in and connection with other realms, things like that. With the Five of Cups, what could also be happening, especially with this Three of Swords, is you may be in this energy a little bit where you're still focusing on what was lost. And this can be due to this heartbreak that's still unhealed. For some of you, there's something that you're being called to do to fully heal this. This can be anything from, maybe I just heard going to counseling or something like that. That could be part of it. This can be kind of deep diving into that situation and understanding the lessons that you learned. And then for some of you, especially with this Knight of Cups, it can be communicating. That's not, well, we do have the King of Swords. I was going to say there's not really a huge communication element here. This is about really sharing your heart space, but we're humans and we do that through communication. So it can be about embodying this King of Swords energy, but also taking your cup of love, so to speak, in expressing that to somebody. And this can just be also about admitting it to yourself. And there's a great deal of healing that happens when we admit to ourselves that we actually want something that we've been attempting to reject for a long time. And this can be in any aspect. This can be, finally coming to terms with the fact that we want a certain career, that we want a certain lifestyle, that we want, I mean, it can be anything. Love, of course. That's, really, really symbolized here on this card. And by just admitting that to ourselves and accepting that, then what can happen is then the guidance starts to come through of how to heal this heartbreak, how to move through this and release the attachments that have been kind of holding you back in certain ways, and really, really shifting the perspective and not so much looking at what was lost, but turning around and looking at what there still is, what we do still have, what we still stand to gain, so to speak. Um, and then by doing all of this, and you are going to be faced with a choice of some sort. I am picking that up. There's going to be kind of this potential pathway. Two I'm picking up two primarily different pathways that are going to open up to you if they're not already clear now. And it's going to be this energy of you can go this way or you can go this way. Oftentimes when we're faced with that, um there's a level of I want to go this way because it offers comfort and safety, and then I wanna go this way because it lights me up and it's exciting. And there's something, and oftentimes when at least I'll speak for myself. Oftentimes when these pathways open up and these choices are there to make, one of them on the surface, if you were to tell somebody else about it, oftentimes they're gonna look at you like you're growing a second head. And it's this energy of like, why would you think that that's a good idea? Logically, it's this and that and the other. Logically, you should go this way. But there's something about this where it doesn't make sense, but it feels so right. And it's a knowing. And it comes from a different place. It comes from this heart space. And the thing is, a part of healing these past heartbreaks allows us to operate from this heart space in a different way because the fear doesn't come up as much. And sometimes when that fear comes up, it can feel like intuition. And it can be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. My intuition is telling me not to do that. When it's actually fear due to some past wounding of some sort. And so doing this inner work, doing this healing work allows you to really shift into this open heart space and operate from that place in that fear, especially once you really start working with that and in discerning the difference between what fear feels like in your body and what it sounds like, and then what true intuition feels like and sounds like. By doing that work and discerning which one is which, it just makes it easier to follow that heart guidance because you build a relationship with it. You build trust with your intuition. And you can do that in small ways at first. You don't have to do major life-changing in spontaneous life-changing decisions right away. You can, start tapping into it and say, "Okay, I'm gonna follow my intuition and take the the quickest route to work." And listen to your intuition and go, "Okay, should I go this way or that way?" And, just start noticing like, "Oh, I hit mostly green lights. There wasn't much traffic. It was a peaceful commute." And then, there's going to be days when, especially in the initial phases, when you're really starting to discern intuition versus fear and how that feels and sounds and all of that, there's going to be times where it's like, oh no, I'm getting this gut feeling and I need to go this way. And then all of a sudden you're like sitting in traffic, you're late to work, this and that and the other. Then you can reflect back and go, okay, so what did that feel like when that came up? Was it a fear thing? Was it, because we're getting into kind of a quantum energetic concept here. But okay, I'm not going down that whole rabbit hole. Basically, I do feel like there is that element and aspect going on here of really starting to discern some of these different energies, really starting to understand your own internal guidance system, and then listening to that. And what that is leading to is judgment. And the thing with judgment is this is about really, she's just listening to her own intuition, following her own music. It's about that. Oh, what is that phrase? Dancing to the beat of your own drum. There we go. Um, that's really this energy. And I'm really picking that up here is that that's ultimately it feels pretty alchemical energetically. It's this changing how you operate in the world at a deep, deep energetic level. And by doing that, again, you're especially because these two are right next to each other. I feel like by you embracing this energy, in going towards that's confirmation, in going towards what it is that lights you up, that makes your heart sing, so to speak, that's what's really leading you into this sun energy, this ability to really enjoy the present moment. And I just heard for some of you, enjoy the present moment with somebody else who also operates from that same type of energy, from that same type of awareness and understanding. And it is really a joyous experience to be with somebody else who you mid conversation a butterfly flies in front of you and you're just like, hold on. I'm gonna watch this butterfly for a minute. And and just enjoy that moment and appreciate that butterfly and look at the butterfly, maybe, telepathically attempt to communicate with the butterfly, whatever. I talk to trees on my walk every day. Um, it's all good. Um, but it's really that energy of really finally I'm feeling like soul tribe family type connections where you're operating from a similar frequency and a similar understanding and a similar way of experiencing the external world. um this is when you're shifting into more of an optimistic viewpoint. This is when you're shifting into life is working for me, not against me. This is the I know this is happening for my highest good, I just don't have the awareness and clarity yet. That will come with time. It's that type of a way of experiencing this life, like this physical human experience. And so this is profound. This is really profound. This is really big energy. Um Yeah, and I really feel like what has been going on too with this deep inner work is it's getting you into a place where you're starting to listen to your own internal guidance system over external guidance from this point moving forward. And so you may take other people's opinions and marinate on them and take them into consideration, but at the end of the day, so to speak, when it's time to make that decision, which is this Two of Wands card, this is really that's not only what this card means, but that's really what I'm getting from this right now is following that internal guidance. And because it is wands, there is that level of passion. And so it's about listening to that over, the naysayers is what I just heard. Um and it's really listening to your own internal guidance. It's listening to what is for your highest good. You are operating from a different set of I heard rules. It kind of almost is like that, where it's, everybody, like a lot of people around you would be like, that seems like a really, dumb choice. And then you're like, I'm aware of how you are perceiving it. And that's okay. You have the right to perceive it that way. I'm still gonna do this for me though, because I know by following this, my throat is doing a whole thing. Hold on. Um I know by doing this, it's going to lead me to my fulfillment, to my enjoyment, to my, soul aligned people, soul aligned experiences, those kinds of things. With my throat chakra kind of freaking out. What I'm really picking up is this is kind of a side message for some of you, but you really are being guided to move forward in some way and express yourself in a grounded yet emotionally open manner. So this is bravely being vulnerable and allowing yourself to speak your truth from a heart-centered place. And so that's just a little aside, we could say. All right, anything else? Anything else? No clarifiers. We're good. Okay. All right. Well, with that, I feel like that is all that wants to come out for this message. I just want to give you props and credit, for embarking on this journey and for doing this work. It's deep work. This is massive self work, self-healing, all of that. And so I just want to take a minute and just acknowledge you, because it's not easy to do it. It's very rewarding though. And you will find peace and joy and fulfillment from by operating from this energy of internal, uh what's the word? Approval. There we go. For operating from that place of internal approval versus external approval. That's when you really get down to the nitty-gritty and like, what is it that my soul wants to experience in this lifetime? Um, and then you open yourself up to this whole new realm of possibilities and things that maybe you thought, "Oh, okay, here's another little message. Things that you may thought were completely closed and done in the past may be coming back up for you to fully heal right now. And for some of you, this is going to be a completely internal process. This is going to be, maybe you work with a professional in some way to help process some of these things. Um, working with your spirit team, the divine, whatever it is you work with. For some of you, that's going to be the meat of the work, so to speak. For others of you, you are going to be called to reconnect with certain people or places from the past to fully heal it. And so just keep doing this work, keep doing that discerning work and listening to your intuition versus fear and external approval. Um and and that's gonna be your biggest guiding factor. And you'll get those nudges, you'll get that insight if it's meant to, if that's what's in alignment and for your highest good to do. Sometimes it's going to be to actually physically take action in some way, and sometimes it's going to be just going within and doing some of the internal work. And so that's where, listening to your intuition and really building a very strong, healthy relationship with your intuition is going to help navigate. It's going to help you navigate through all of this for what's in alignment for you, for what's for your highest good, and those kinds of things. So, all right, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave this here before I go on random other tangents. And yeah, so I hope that this helps. I hope this gives you some clarity, some confirmation for sure. And if so, you can let me know in the comments below. If you like this message, feel free to hit the like button. It does help out the channel. And if you would like to see more from me, you can hit subscribe. It is free, and I will see you on the next message. Bye.